Good day, everybody, and a very warm welcome to our first weekly analysis review, which is an analysis review of episode 1 of Strictly Technicals, which was posted earlier last week. And the main purpose of this weekly analysis review is to just have a look back at the forecasted analysis and the events that then played out after the forecasted analysis. And this is just to see how accurate we were, and if we were accurate, where could we have made our gains, and if we weren't accurate, where have we made our losses. Now, just to give you a brief overview of the review episode outline, in part A we will be looking at the analysis prior to, how it played out, and then we'll also look at how it played out. And this is the analysis of the major currency pairs, which are your EURUSD, GBPUSD, USDJPY, USDCAD, USDCHF. Following that, we will then head into part B, which will then highlight the lesson of the week that we are going to carry out throughout our trading plan. And just to give you a slight hint, this lesson revolves around the concept of hidden engulfing patterns. All right, without further ado, let us get into part A, which is the analysis review of our major currency pairs. Now, starting off, we'll be looking at the EURUSD, and what we had forecasted is that, remember that I mentioned in episode 1 of Strictly Technicals that Forex always gives us options. All right, so you must be expecting more than one outcome when you look at a certain situation in the markets. And if you can see here, we had certain outcomes highlighted, and option A was that we were expecting a push towards the upside. So price was going to head towards our resistance zone and give us our TP. Option B was to expect a fake out, meaning that price was going to close above our resistance zone and close back underneath our resistance zone and push towards our support zone. And option C was then to have a breakout and a bounce off resistance now turned support. Let's look at how that played out. So looking at how it played out is that option A, B, or C didn't work out in this case, and this is because of the highlighted hidden engulfing that we see on our charts. Now, what the hidden engulfing indicated to us was a change in momentum. Hence, we have the push towards the downside back to our support level, because this then indicated that buyers have now lost control of the market and our sellers have now gained control of the markets, right? Remember that this is just a review of the previously posted analysis. It is not yet a forecast of what to expect for this coming week. So if you want to come and have a forecast of what to expect this coming week, please do tune in to episode 2 of Strictly Technicals, where we will then have a detailed breakout of what to expect this coming week, and we'll have clear forecasts also of what to look out for. Now, that is it for our EURUSD pair. Let's move on to our pound USD pair. Now, the same as always, we have options, right? Now, our options here was that we're either going to have a bounce of our resistance level over there, and price would then complete our double top pattern with a push back down to our support, which represented our neckline, or we would then have a breakout and a bounce of resistance now turned support. Let's have a look at how that played out. Now, looking at how it played out, as you can see, we had a highlighted old level of support over here, and what we had seen here was a fake out, meaning that price closed above my support level, closed below my below my support level, then closed back above my support level, giving us the fake out. And like I had said in the first episode of Strictly Technicals, that I always have a risk reward ratio of 1:2 because I have picked up that having a higher risk reward ratio reduces the probability of having your setup play out. And if we can see over here with a buy position right there where it says fake out entry, we then had TP hit at our 1:1 risk reward ratio, right? And to show that momentum now started to change after TP, we have another concept of hidden engulfing, right? Meaning that buyers have now lost control of the markets and the sellers have now started to kick in. So if you want a forecast of this, of what to expect for the coming week, like I've said, please tune into episode 2 of Strictly Technicals. Now, this is all that we have seen from the pound USD, and as we can see, everything played out as expected with a TP of a 1:1 risk reward ratio. Moving on to the USDJPY, what we had forecasted was a fake out situation around here, or a bounce of our support now turned resistance. Remember, I said options, hence we have more than one outcome that we are waiting for on the markets, right? And this is how it played out. Well, as you can see over here, price pushed towards our support turned resistance, and it has not been able to break through this entire week. However, what we have that is interesting is this hidden engulfing over here. And what does this hidden engulfing indicate to us? It indicates a change in momentum. So with this continued downwards push of price, we have a hidden engulfing pattern over here, which then indicates that buyers have now gained control of the markets. And if you can check, this bounce of our resistance, support turned resistance, indicated our minor resistance level, and price comfortably closed over the minor resistance level. So this is how our USDJPY played out in this past week that we come from after the forecasted analysis. And that will be it for the USDJPY. And let's look at the USDCAD. Now, with our forecasted analysis, we had options again, and option A was to have a breakout with a continued push towards our support level over here, or option B was a fake out with a push towards our resistance level. Now, let's see how it played out. Interestingly enough, option B played out. We had what we call a fake out. Now, this is very interesting because price closed below our support and then price closed back above our support level. This indicated our fake out situation. And we have a hidden engulfing over here, which then indicated a change in momentum and showed us that this might be a potential end towards the downwards movement of this pair. However, we waited for confirmation with a close above our support zone again, and we have a buy position currently logged in here. Now, as you can see, we have a possibility of reaching TP1 or TP2. We will be on the lookout for any hidden engulfings that might show a change in momentum, right? But however, if you want to see a forecast of this currency pair for this coming week, please do tune in to episode 2 of Strictly Technicals. Lastly, we have our USD Swiss franc pair, and what we had forecasted was a move towards TP3, giving us a 1:2 risk reward ratio. However, we had shown that we were satisfied with a 1:1 risk reward ratio coming from this fake out over here. So TP was already reached on my side over here. However, it was a possibility for price to reach 1:2, closer to our resistance level over here. Now let's check how that played out. There we go. We have a strong breakout of our 1:1 risk reward ratio with a push towards 1:2, and our hidden engulfing over here indicated the end of this minor pullback. All right, and it showed that buyers are now in control of the markets. And if you can check the way the markets have closed on Friday, it indicates that sellers have not been able to go past the opening price of this candlestick. So the buyers are still currently in control, as we do not have a pullback as of yet. So however, to see any more forecasts of this pair, please do tune into our second episode of Strictly Technicals. So yeah, from all the pairs that we have analyzed here, it is only one pair out of the 5 that did not give us option A, B, or C, but the rest did. And that's a very good week according to me, because it's not all the time that markets will head your way, but you know, when they're heading your way and it's in a way that you expected, it's kind of relief as a trader as well, to indicate that you are really doing the right thing, because you're expecting more than one outcome from this strategy that you are trading. And with so many take profits hit, it just indicates that consistency is key, and not being greedy as well is very key in the markets, because keeping it a 1:1 risk reward ratio ensured that once my setup plays out, TP would then be reached, like we can see over here with this currency pair. All right, now let's move on to part B of our episode of the weekly review, and this is the lesson of the week. What is it that we can take from this week? And that is the concept of hidden engulfing patterns. Now, these are things to note about the hidden engulfing patterns. Number one is that they act as our minor support and resistance levels. Remember, we were focused only on the major support and resistance levels. However, these minor support and resistance levels then indicated a sudden change in momentum, which is point number 2 that we must be aware of. So what does then the point of sudden change in momentum indicate or tell you as a trader who's holding on to a position? Is that it indicates that it might be time to place your positive stop loss and secure some profits, as momentum towards your side of the move has come to an end. And these sudden change in momentum also indicated a possible pullback as exhaustion. So I have made a few examples of where exhaustion towards the downside, where the pullback was exhausted towards the downside, and price then pushed up and gave us our fake out and a push to TP level 2, which is a 1:1 risk reward ratio. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into our short weekly review episode of episode number 1, coming from Strictly Technicals, which then gave us a clear outline of how our analysis performed from this week. And as we can see, we had a pretty good week, because 4 out of 5 of our trades actually gave us the anticipated forecasts that we had. So just for closing down this first episode, we'll look at the quote of the episode, which reads, "It is hard to beat a person who never gives up," by Babe Ruth. And this quote is very dear to me, as it indicates or it highlights the kind of attitude that you are supposed to have towards the markets, because markets are not easy, as we know that 90% of people who try trading actually fail. But if you are persistent enough and if you are consistent, you will make it. As you can see, that it is hard to beat someone who never gives up. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. Have a lovely evening.